It's on the hour and we will get started in just a second. Take a pause, take a breath, and we will be with you shortly. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming along today. My name is Gareth and we are here again on our weekly event. So great to see you all. Thank you very much for coming along today. We're really grateful to spend time with you all on this subject, which we're chatting through today around sustainability compliance and the types of things which we can use from a Microsoft perspective to empower and enable us essentially in this particular area of your businesses. So what I'd like to do, we'll just go through our usual housekeeping stuff. Feel free to drop your name into the chat box and where you are from today. It'd be great to hear from you. If you do have any questions, please reach out on the chat or just come off mute and interrupt me. This is a recorded event, so please be aware of that. We are all human beings as far as I last checked. This is somewhere which everyone should respect each other on the call, but by all means engage with us. This is a safe learning zone. Technology is moving at pace and we are here today to help you through it. As I said, my name is Gareth and I've made it my mission to positively impact all of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. And I'm really proud to announce that this week we have teamed up with a fantastic organization called B1G1 to enable that to happen. And as a result of being on this call today, if you reach out to us, we will be making donations to some amazing projects on your behalf. So please stick by at the end, because there will be our usual interactive Q&A and chat if anyone feels like chatting, and we'll have our few free gifts and things to share with you as well, including that donation. So if you can just bear with me a second here, and I'm going to shuffle a couple of things around and move my other slide deck into view here. So whilst I'm doing that and get PowerPoint up and running, let's bring this one out of the way. Shuffle that down. It's always good when we're having a live event to shovel things around. But there we go. You can see our lovely wallpapers here at Lightrise anyway. And if you like that, we'll give you a free copy. But it is nice to work that up to that in the morning. Right, here we go. So sustainability compliance. So, oh, it's boring, isn't it? Compliance. Well, we shouldn't really be thinking about this as just compliance, because ultimately this is about doing good things, saving your company money, creating company value, and making lots of people happy. And the way that we can do this is through the world of data and gathering information across our business. Now, I just want to make sure that you can all see my screen. So if I could get a thumbs up from yourselves, or just an indication there that you can see that today, that would be perfect. Thank you very much. So look, it's like any other part in our business. If we don't have information, then we can't make good decisions. And that doesn't matter whether it's our workforce, our finances, or anything else. If we're thinking about the telemetry of our operation, we can still really start to drill into, what the particular ways that we can quantify and qualify every single part of our business and its inputs and outputs. And when we've got that information, we can fine tune it. And we can fine tune it, obviously, with using analysis tools like we've got today. Now, there is obviously an underlying compliance story here as I'm going through all of this today. But I want to present this as an opportunity, because quite often we're all getting beaten with the compliance stick. And the reality is we can save our businesses a lot of money and drive a lot of value through this. So there are established routes which we can take our company through for understanding the scope 1, 2, and 3 impacts. There are various different compliance reports, and Microsoft have structured the data models here in a way which can enable you to just go through your business using the standard products and ascertain what those impacts are. And once we've got it and we've thought about the data governance of all this, I mean, who owns the data? Who's responsible in our organizations, AI or people, for bringing that information through and putting it in the right places securely for us to eventually get over to that part of the screen, which is about reporting impact and progress. So one of the ways that we can actually start to do this is by calculating our carbon footprints for this. And we can think about the various different repositories of information. You can do this now. You don't need expensive consultants to help you out. Go into your business, find out where all these information silos live, and they will, and it's fine. We've all got those embarrassing closets in our business where we know things can be better and improved, but we're all on a journey of growth here, and it's about having the right tools in the box and being deployed at the right time. So have a look through your organization and try and find out how that information is structured, where it's secured. It might be on spreadsheets, in some places it might be on bits of paper, but there will be information out there. And then once you've understood where the key information is, and let's not forget that we want information here which is going to drive our decision making in order to make a positive impact on the environment, whilst equally making value in our organization and saving money and those types of things. But once we have it all, we can bring it in to these tools which Microsoft have provided us, and we can start to use these standard dashboards then to take a look across the business, so we can really start to accelerate what some of that looks like from the perspective of our own businesses and how they operate. And everyone's different. But the models of business are typically the same. We're here to drive revenues. There'll be outreach processes, there'll be ways of manufacturing, asset management, lots of different ways of doing this. And here's an example of some of this information being categorized as the scope 2 emissions there. And in order to us sort of to provide those corporate governance practices and build in this ongoing set of reviews across the organizations. Now, this is great for all sorts of things. Obviously, once you've built this out, we can then use it for stakeholder reporting. We can use it for improving our business. We can use it for that regulatory reporting. And there are a number of templates and data models which come as standard, i.e. Microsoft have just got them there and you can configure them. There's no, there's no coding here. The challenge really around a lot of this is about that consolidation of information across your business and where you go to do that and the journey you go on to make sure that you've got processes and people and policies, governance, etc. in place to bring that together quickly and reliably through your own ecosystem. And what you've got here, and some of this, some things are in preview, some things come out of preview. Microsoft have this program where it's very transparent as to what they're trying to achieve on their roadmaps. And they often have this preview mechanism where we can all get involved, partners, end clients, and feed into that journey and make it stronger as it moves forwards. But here's a stack of different things that we've got different tile views and kind of how we can build some of this information up using this out of the box approach really from Microsoft. And it is all built on the foundations of the Microsoft Cloud. And this is what I love. And it's one of the reasons that we've driven our business this way. As a business, we are fully remote and we're fully cloud-based. And I knew from day one that we would essentially be on the successful tail of Microsoft and their infrastructure investments around this and their own quite advanced goals in terms of their own improvement journey and reducing the carbon, reducing their water impacts, and all of the things that go on it, which you'd expect a responsible business to do. So by moving to the cloud, you've automatically got this baseline of saying, well, actually, we've moved from A to B, and B is now our delta for measurement. And Microsoft provide us a nice report, which covers all of your cloud usage. And I don't have the complicated scenario of having to go out and search in the business as a professional services business where all these things are, because we can bring it all together in the cloud. But if you do need to bring it together along with other things, then you've got this ESG lake, which sounds more exciting than it is. It's not a real lake, but it does live in the cloud. And the lake here is a structured set of ways of having your information, because you can have a lot of debates in an organization around how to structure things. And if you've ever got into those levels of conversations, it can take a long time. Here, you don't need to worry about it because we've got these models already that we can use, so we can really springboard and accelerate some of our things. And they're overlaid here, of course, with things like the Microsoft Sustainability Manager, which takes different guises depending on the size of your organization. So it lives there as its own thing, but it's also got a sustainability manager, which is embedded in Dynamics Business Central, and that's more akin for small businesses. And then we've got Purview, which is a compliance manager, which really excites me as an ex-information manager, because this thing takes the whole governance piece. It's got CSRD reporting in it, but it can auto classify using artificial intelligence information based on what it looks like and its perceived security risk, which is great for data loss prevention. If we take a look and kind of break this down a little bit more and where things may live, if you were starting to structure this through in your organization, here's a kind of wireframe, mock-up, whatever you want in terms of what that model looks like, and could look like potentially for your organization. We do have a few case studies coming up now, so I'm going to share those with you around some really fascinating organizations who are at the forefront of the environmental businesses and using some of this to drive their goals and mission forwards. And the first one that we've got is from a company called Ingredion, and I will bring that interview, and hopefully you will all see it. So just bear with me a second, and
Ingredion.
I will shuffle things around. And hopefully you'll get a thumbs up from your good selves in a second as to you
is a Fortune 500 global.
But let me just bring it into view. And let me know if the sound comes through okay.
Ingredion is a Fortune 500 global ingredient solution provider.
The types of ingredients we make are in 80% of what you see on a grocery shelf. Everything we do is plant-based. Whether it's corn, rice, tapioca, all our raw material inputs are plants. How do we connect people, nature, and technology together to make life better?
We're an innovation company. We develop products that help our customers and their consumers be more sustainable.
Data collection is a very manual and timely process. You could be spending your time gathering data, or you could be focusing on a solution.
We launched our 2030 all-life plan for sustainability in 2020, setting aggressive targets. What's been amazing is watching how companies come together through collaboration.
When we're looking for partners, we're looking for somebody that complements the capabilities that we have. Microsoft is a powerhouse in bringing that kind of innovation.
It used to be all the information was hidden away, but now with Microsoft Sustainability Manager, you have engineers, technologists, plant leadership teams looking at this data, driving improvements.
We're connecting data, and then we're able to draw insights faster. It's that piece that is a change agent for us getting to the targets faster.
Having that data in a timely manner with Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability enables us to minimize operating expense, minimize the impact to the communities in which we operate, make the planet better, and help the company grow. At the end of the day, my team goes to bed knowing that we've done something to make the company and the planet better for generations to come.
Okay, so I thought that was a really interesting case study from Ingredion on how they've actually used some of this technology in their business. And it's like anything, if you just let it sit there and it's a system, you don't engage with it. It's just going to sit there. It'll be a system, you don't engage with it. The true secret to all of these solutions, of course, because 70% of the success of any IT project is people, is to think about all this from the perspective of your workforce and how you bring this together across your operations and bring that information to life. And that's very much what another organization did as well. And this is a big agricultural provider of like Mexican foods and some fantastic ethical awards that this company, Grupo Bimbo, have won in the past. But it was the similar sorts of situation where, using the standard products here to collect, integrate, and analyze vast amounts of data. So this is appropriate for small businesses. But like enterprises like this as well, where you've got lots of Internet of Things devices and things, telemetry across the organization that you want to bring in and synthesize, this is a fantastic case study around that. And they were able to manage their emissions data across the enterprise using this tool and really get on track for meeting their own goals for 25, 2030, and then looking further out to 2050 for that as well. And just take a quick sip of water. one of our final sort of case studies here, another amazing organization. And you can see here this quote: "With the help of Microsoft and its powerful sustainability solutions, we have an opportunity to better organize and understand our data, which will help us deliver on our sustainability ambitions in mining and cement." And I say a very different industry, but getting such value out of this and underpinning it with the technologies that are available to enable visibility and, more importantly, that right intelligence to inform credible decision making across the business, which really does link in with ESG, so environment, social, and governance. So certainly an environmental piece, we're able to bring out that information and surface it. The governance piece around the credible decision making, but yeah, it is a fantastic opportunity here, and I think we should all be thinking about this not just in terms of the compliance angle, which we're often hearing. Of course, there are compliance angles to business. That is how we operate business effectively, but there is a real opportunity here to make value within the organization and save money and those sorts of things. There's a fantastic example of this. There's a tool which we're working with at the moment, which we're offering people, and it does like a free sense check. It uses artificial intelligence. It sits there in the cloud, and it's looking at your overall cloud spending, essentially. And that is for a variety of factors, licensing, all those sorts of things. But the reality is, even as we're sat here today on the cloud having this call together, there is an impact. There's an impact, positive and negative, to all of the things that we do. Hopefully we have smaller footprints and don't leave so much damage on the environment. And with tools like that helping us reduce our cloud usage, you're reducing your carbon commitment and your cost. So it's a win-win situation all the time. And yeah, there are a number of approaches that we can take, and one of the things that we've got is there's like a packaged service where we've identified some pretty niche experts on this and set up subcontractor essentially relationships. We brought them all through our value stream, and we've also got some amazing relationship with some universities who have specialist skills in this area. So we are really excited to be able to help businesses in this area using some of the Microsoft's best practice in the industry to help achieve results quickly. And you can see here one of the frameworks that we've got around outlining this and taking people through this journey to identify and map out across the organization where all these things need to be. We can undertake planning together, start to fine tune and optimize to see where those areas are, bringing in tools like we just discussed, along with other things as well. And together really start to make some accelerated impacts in this area. And we are very keen to help you. But what is next? You may be thinking, well, what I would like to do is just take the opportunity for any quick questions which we've got from the audience, because that is the end, I'm afraid, of our slides today. But we do have a few free gifts of thanks to yourselves for coming along today and joining. And the first thing I would like to talk about is B1G1. But let's first see if there are any questions from the audience on the chat, or anyone would like to come off mute.
Hi Gareth, Owen here.
Hi there.
Hey Dan. So this is a Microsoft platform. Can you share with us the licensing costs to implement the Purview and the cloud sustainability module?
I'm happy to do that, and I'm happy to follow that up based on the size of your organization, because it will vary, and we can take a look at that. And it will also vary depending on what you've got at the moment, because you might be covered for some pieces. But if you'd like to reach out afterwards, we'll take your details and we can certainly go through that.
Okay, sure. So it's costed on the basis of the size of the organization, the amount of licenses. Is that correct in saying?
There are different licensing points. So with Microsoft Sustainability for Cloud, this is a few months ago, Microsoft changed their licensing refreshes on a monthly basis.
So they change it every month, yeah.
You've always got to get the latest document, but I mean, it doesn't move that quickly, although, you know, they've got a broad licensing base, so it's bound to change. But they do have ones where it's per tenant, i.e. it's per organization. But if you're talking about Business Central and Sustainability Manager, it's a different product. It's achieving similar things. But yeah, it's a different pricing point. So it varies, but I would say there are different pricing levels for small, medium business and enterprise. When you're talking about Purview, then yeah, you might just need a few licenses for that if you've got some information managers, but then that can kind of really tie into your whole information management strategy as well.
Okay. Cool.
But we're happy to chat and give you some signposts in the right direction of what's the best value for the type of shape of organization that you've got.
Is it tackling the ESG? I'm glad, it's good to see ESG is still on the table, because it was all the buzzword up to a couple of months ago, maybe a year or so ago, and then AI came along, and all of a sudden ESG is cast aside, and the whole environmental ESG and everything environmental seem to be forgotten about. And I think AI is having a negative. Well, AI can obviously positively contribute to ESG, but it's also clearly having a negative impact with AI and the resources used by data centers. So it's just a general sweeping statement. It's good to see there's still a focus on it, and it's so important. Is this solution covering just the E of the ESG, i.e. the environmental side of things, or does it cover the S&G?
It's more strong on the E, because we're talking about those 1, 2, and 3 emissions and the way that we track that through our supply chain and everything else. But you can look at your social initiatives. Obviously, you've got the governance piece there as well. But when you're looking at the social side of things, quite often, more and often, we're thinking about something called Microsoft Viva. So there's like an engagement piece there, which manages your corporate communications. You can have goals there and manage individual sort of social interactions in an organization. So again, that might be just a telemetry which you bring in to it, and really depends on how you're set up. But a great example is B Corp. So B Corp as a standard, you know, an ethical standard of responsibility international, they have a set of questions depending on the type of your business. And that will really drill into like the social side of things and what you're doing, the rainbow volunteering, all these bits and pieces. And it's a good structure to take if you haven't got one.
Perfect.
Any other questions? Great questions. So thank you very much.
Just a question, Gareth. I suppose it leads on to what you've just been discussing in terms of how things work. Because I think we have a certain level of access already through our Microsoft products, but I suppose we're not accessing that information. So I suppose I'm just trying to understand in terms of what Lightrise offer, is that more in terms of like that intermediary to help us capture that data and actually access it? Is that data?
Yes, I mean, we can do a variety of things. I've got a couple of slides coming up, but our sort of go-to-market around this is a proposition around helping you understand where those baseline data sets are in order to bring it all together initially, and to start your journey using these tools. And you're quite right there. You may find, if you reach out to your IT departments, that you've already got some of these things licensed. And really, really important point to make, because quite often as businesses, you know, you do have these things part of a package, and you might not be getting the best value out of them. And there are some approaches with Microsoft where they can help you, and your partners can help you to maybe unlock some of that value, given that you've got licenses already. But it is on a case-by-case basis, those types of things. And again, depending on the size of your organization, it tends to be. Good questions. Any other questions from the audience? No. Well, thank you very much for your contributions. I really, really appreciate it. But this is the exciting bit. Thank you for joining us today. This is our new partnership. So we've got this partnership with an organization called B1G1, and their mission is to make a positive impact in the world. And it stands for buy one, gift one. So it's a nice, simple model that when we're doing business and having engagements like this, we can really give something back. And you are able today to get that QR code on your phone and choose one of those fantastic projects there. And we will be contributing on your behalf for that. We're going to be weaving B1G1 throughout our entire business model because it makes perfect sense in terms of what we're trying to do as a mission to make a positive impact, one engagement at a time. So thank you very much. That's our gift for you today, but not the only one. So we do have these things called solution assessments, the Microsoft best practice approaches. And we can take you through a guided way of trying to understand what that landscape of information looks like in your business. And also there are opportunities for revealing a proof of value, because actually when you start to lift the lid on these things, identifying waste, identifying inefficiencies, you can improve value. And there are opportunities there. There is a waiting list, sadly, for some of these things, and we do need to go through some checks and balances. But that's our other offer to you. Let's have a chat and make another positive impact. And if you use that QR code, then we will also be making a donation on your behalf for engaging with us today. So that is well worth jotting down. Don't worry if you miss it. This will be a recorded presentation. We'll send you out the links afterwards, and you can check those over yourself. But if you do want to take a photo, or if you missed the other one, then let me know. Finally, I'm glad we talked about AI because it's kind of like the elephant in the room whilst we're driving forwards around ESG and everyone's trying to go to Mars and do lots of other things. There's incredible amounts of energy going in to AI, and hence the $500 billion investment, which has just been announced in the US. But not, I can't vouch for everyone, but what I've seen Microsoft be doing is aligning their agenda and investing in critical infrastructure for their low carbon goals in this area. And you will see, if you've not already seen it, when you're using things like Copilot, it was creating 4 things at once, and now it creates 2, and now it starts to measure the tokens that you're using. So this whole awareness, whilst Copilot is incredibly useful and really, really does enable us to springboard as a civilization, it's got impact. And if it's not done properly, both from a people perspective and an energy perspective, then we will be having a lot of problems. So it's good to see that the foresight is there, and people are thinking that. And there's some great advancements in energy. And sadly, I'd be here chatting about energy for another 30 minutes, but check out, the science is fantastic. Things are really accelerating at pace, and AI will enable us for that. Anyway, to come full circle, we will be offering this free Copilot Agent in a Day course, where we will take you on a journey through building your own Copilot agent. And we'll be doing that later in February this year. And if you are interested in being part of that cohort and joining us on that adventure and building your own Copilot agent, then please register there. And if you do that, then we will also contribute towards protecting the rainforest from fire, giving medical protection to street dogs, or life-changing clean water to children, depending on your preference there. So a number of great things today where we've provided you some good ways that we can create impact together. So hopefully you found that interesting. I really value you coming today and for engaging and chatting about. If there are any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll follow up with our contact details later today. But The simple one is hello@lightriseconsulting.com, or use one of these QR codes. We'll grab your details and we'll reach out to you that way. So thank you very much for your time today. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you. See you soon.
Thanks, Gareth. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.